Hello there, everyone. Nicholas Dettmann here for another edition of the Dettmann Media Podcast, where we talk about the latest social media marketing and digital marketing tips, trends, analysis, as well as pointers on Google Analytics and SEO strategy. So glad you can join me today. It's been a great year for sure, as well. We're getting set to wrap up the 2021 and move into 2022. Just wanted to again thank everyone that has paid attention to the podcast. I've enjoyed bringing it to you, and hopefully you've gotten a little bit out of it as well. So, with that in mind, we'll just hit on a couple topics here before we get ready for the end of 2021 and move into 2022. So we'll start with kind of looking at how should you structure your social media for 2022. And certainly, that's definitely a question, and it's been well noted here on this podcast and in a lot of different sources that the last now almost 2 years have really changed kind of how people look at social media, how they use social media, whether it's for personal use, for shopping use, or whatnot. So it certainly has changed remarkably over the last almost 2 years now, stemming from the COVID-19 pandemic and things that continue to unravel with that. Sprout Social, great resource for social media marketing, released a guide recently with the intent and hope and goal for marketers and what they should consider heading into 2022. And the report was called Unlock Social Media Success in 2022. And it's a free download, and you can do that right on my blog, which is nicholasdettmann.blogspot.com, and you click on the link that's right there, and you'll be able to download that. And just looking at the guide, it's a good read for sure. And one of the it comes in a kind of a couple of different sections, and one of those is finding the ideal social media content mix for your brand. And I know we've talked about this a number of times previously, but it always bears repeating, and it doesn't hurt to repeat it for sure. But as we know, one of the biggest challenges in social media is what content to post. It's one of the difficult questions or challenges out there. That's right up there. It's like when to post, where to post, are two of the other big challenges. Because really, when you look at all three, it really just depends on what industry you are, who you're trying to attract as a consumer, and what your goals are. And that's why there's really no set structure to that. It's just relying on what fits what you have done already, how are people responded to what you have posted, and that's usually the best way to set a baseline for your business. Now, certainly there are averages out there based on certain industries and so forth and certain platforms, but those are just baselines, and those are at least good places to start. But then you need to be flexible off of those baselines based on how people are reacting to your social media posts and on what platform they're taking in that information. And that falls into that line of the term social listening, is just listening to what people are saying, or in social media cases, what they're doing, and not necessarily hearing what they're saying. Certainly that helps, but are they liking comments? Are they liking posts? Are they sharing them? Are they interacting with your content? That falls into the line of social listening. In that you have to kind of keep an eye on that really every day, and that's why you have to continuously evaluate what your visitors to your social media pages are doing. And thankfully, there are a number of handful of analytics tools on each of the social media platforms that helps you kind of put two and two together. And then content falls into the same area as well in the thought process, but that's where Social Sprout in its latest report tried to help with that. And I'll highlight one of the points is they gave 5 reasons why, based on their research, why people visit a social media page for a business. And number one is to learn about new products and services. Number two, stay up to date on company news. Number three, to be entertained. Number four, to read other people's reviews and experiences with the brand. And number five, to be inspired. A separate stat from Sprout Social showed that 70% of consumers will buy from a brand they follow on social media. And then you've heard me say this a number of times before. You look at social media as the front porch of your business. This is what people will often, especially nowadays, will often see when they're looking for a business. What you're trying to do is get them onto that front porch and into the front door. And once you're in the front door, that's kind of where your website will then take over. So really more people are looking to social media to help with their research rather than online, or in this case maybe like a Google or Yahoo or Bing search engine. It's more done through social media, and a lot of that is simply based on how other people in their network and what they do and the businesses they support, and that information is very readable for people to see on social media, where more than I can't really see what my friends are searching for online, but I can certainly see what businesses they like to support, what causes they support, and so forth. And if I have said this enough, but it always bears repeating that consumers are on social media, and you need to be too. So, and then, like I said, we've seen it in the last almost 2 years that social media is more and more part of the customer experience, the e-commerce experience, than it ever has been before. And it's why you need to be on social media, or at least put in a bigger thought process into how social media can help your company or business or organization, because I just don't see that changing into 2022. Moving into the next topic, back in October, Instagram announced that links are now were being made available in Instagram stories for all users, instead of just those with 10,000 followers or more, or are verified accounts. This was at the time definitely a big win for people and consumers, or even business owners who have less than 10,000 followers when they're trying to generate website leads. This was a great win in that respect. And I've certainly have utilized that, and have seen some traffic for it. So I think it's still kind of catching on to people with Instagram and being able to click on links, because as Instagram has not been known to have clickable links. I mean, the only one that you can do is in the profile bio, is where the direct link that you can click on. Otherwise, you don't have a tappable or clickable link that you can insert in Instagram posts. So this, implementing it into the IG stories, was definitely a big step in the right direction. But it was also announced at the time the company was working on a model to be able to help users modify the link sticker, and now that time has arrived. Users who use the link click check sticker with IG stories can now modify the text that is for the sticker. So like I said before, the initial implementation was a huge victory for Instagram business users, especially ones that are trying to generate website leads and generate more followers for their Instagram. So what the sticker will do is and I have a link to this on my blog, and kind of shows you a picture that if you put a story on your timeline, you'll have an option where you can click or tap to make a direct link to wherever page you want, and then there's an option that says customize sticker text, and you can put like click here for more, buy tickets here, sign up for discount, sign up for newsletter, really whatever you want it to say, as opposed to before when they didn't have the customizable sticker text. It would just be the URL that you're using, and really just the base URL, such as the www.whatever.com. But now you can really put whatever you want for that sticker, and it really kind of help you entice more click to action within your Instagram stories. So And it is, I think Reels and Stories, as well as overall short form video, continues to grow. Creating content for those tools will have a greater emphasis with a greater possibility of generating website leads. And you certainly, I've talked about this a number of times, TikTok's growth and the popularization of such short form video, Reels, has really changed the dynamic of social media and how people embrace and take in content and what they can do with it once they have it. So if you're not already doing something like that with your Instagram, I certainly recommend doing it. A couple other quick things I want to hit on here before we wrap up today. Meltwater.com has released its 2022 Social Media National Celebrations calendar. But this is a fun but also very handy calendar. If you're coming up short and trying to come up with creative, engaging, or catchy social media content, it provides you a guide to celebrate a day, week, or month that can directly correspond with your business. So, for example, if you're the local Humane Society, March 23rd is National Puppy Day, so you can utilize that as an opportunity to say, hey, today's National Puppy Day, check out these puppies that are up for adoption. So it's really a great idea, a way to do that. If you're a coffee shop, October 1st is International Coffee Day. If you're a business that specializes in hiking equipment, November 17th is National Hiking Day. So those are great opportunities to build a social media calendar around days, weeks, or months celebrations that correlate to the business or organization that you operate. And I do have a link to that calendar on my blog, which is again nicholasdettmann.blogspot.com. And then the last topic we'll hit on today is tips on how to evaluate and measure your social media return on investment or your social media ROI. And of course, we know it's an important question, right? So are we getting enough value on the investment? Was the investment worth it? Well, in many ways, it's the way to understand your ad spend, and also known as your key performance indicators or KPIs. So if you're using social media for digital marketing, there are many ways that we can analyze those campaigns. Among those ways was supplied in a nice tip guide by Hootsuite called How to Measure the ROI of Your Social Media. And one of the couple of the highlights from that guide, which is downloadable, and I have that free on my blog, nicholasdettmann.blogspot.com. Here were a couple of the highlights. So one, you can't focus on organic or paid alone. Each step in the buyer journey will have different success metrics, and one, use link tracking. So some really solid tips if you're trying to understand your social media marketing, and if you're getting a solid return on it. So I highly suggest you check that out as well. So that about wraps up today's podcast. Really appreciate you checking in today and listening for it. So if you have questions or you'd like to see a topic discussed, by all means feel free to reach out to me. And the best way to do so is on my blog, nicholasdettmann.blogspot.com. While you're there, there'll be an option for you to click on the newsletter, and you can get blog post updates delivered right there to your email inbox each day. So again, thanks so much for listening today, and thanks for listening so far here in 2021. If I don't talk to you beforehand, everybody have a pleasant holiday season, and we will talk to you in 2022.